Sacco from iSpeed to Lead is up
Okay.
next. And iSpeed to Lead is a real estate lead marketplace that sells pre-qualified motivated seller leads to investors, wholesalers, and agents across the U.S. I am a client. And Yuri's going to talk to us about lead generation. So where Justin's talking to us a lot about like the upstream model, about getting multiple or getting a relationship with people that have multiple referrals, like a financial planner, like an attorney. This is for real estate agents, maybe a probate attorney, a divorce attorney. Those are some of the people that would be upstream from you. Where a divorce attorney may have the need to refer multiple times every single year. What Yori's company does, iSpeed to Lead, they're looking more tactfully of like people that need to sell today. All right, that are filling out a form and saying, "Hey, I'm raising my hand. I got a property. Typically, it's going to be distressed. Typically, it may be more appealing for an investor than a more traditional buyer." And that's what Yori's company does. And we'll have a chance, Yori, to talk more about that here in a few minutes. Yori, lead generation. Hello, welcome. How are you? I got to find you. Where are you? There you are.
Thanks for having me. So I actually tried to put a quick presentation about all lead generation. So since I know plenty of people are familiar with iSpeed to Lead, I'm gonna talk about iSpeed to Lead a little too, but the whole idea, I would like to cover some of the common ways of lead generation that investors, agents, and probably applicable in all industries out there. I'll be glad to answer any questions too. I've been in sales for 10 years. I've been in lead generation for 3 years now. Did plenty of things, worked in different industries. So if anybody has any questions, I will be glad to answer them. Having said that, I also got a quick presentation that I'll be sharing that will be helping me throughout the time. And if you don't mind, I'd like to share that. Let's go.
You should be able to. Yori, where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Ukraine. I was based out of Clackamas, Oregon for 7 years. So if anybody on the West Coast, saying hello. And
Our
but
second Ukrainian of the day. We had two Ukrainians, a Dan and a Justin. That sounds like a setup for a
amazing,
joke, a bad joke.
amazing. So here is a
We'll make
couple of
Dan the
things.
butt of the joke. Go on. Sorry, Yori.
No worries. So some of the things. First of all, I want to talk about this thing because I know a lot of people don't talk about this, but are we actually serious? Are we taking our job as a full time? And I know Dan is talking about commitment, and you'll have different sections about all of those type of things. But the reason I'm asking because a lot of things that we talk about lead generation takes your time to put effort. It takes time. So if there is no commitment, like all this conversation is probably like less relevant. So are we actually serious? So if the answer is yes, and we are serious, so in this case, you have two types of actual time during your day. First one is the working time that when you do direct sales activity. We are sitting down, we're making dials, we're working with VAs, managing people, whatever you do to generate leads and close deals. But there is also very underrated time is the thinking time. So if you can afford just sitting down at your job or at your work to have some strategic time, is fine. For a lot of people, I have 3 children. I did plenty of jobs in the past, so I noticed that I've been the most successful when I was kind of thinking about work and being successful, even like outside of that. I'm not saying you shouldn't spend time with your gym children, talk to them, and do this commitment, but just notice to yourself, like, what you're really thinking about. Like, is it time is productive or you're just, kind of wasting time right now? What do you listen in the car? What do you listen in the gym? Are you really doing something productive? Because this is a time where you can really evaluate some things that you did, and this is where the time you can adjust and can be more prepared to attack when the direct sales activity starts. So I hope we cover this. And the second thing, maybe it was already shared today, but AI is big right now. Use GPT, Gemini, Claude, conversation wise, back and forth, how it can be the best investor, best agent, best salesperson, best stuff, what's the lead gen options. Again, you're considering brokers, which team to join, you're considering to getting a job, go to GPT, ask questions. You're considering different lead gen, different things, go and ask. Just ask. Free thing. I mean, GPT is free, Gemini has a free option. $20 GPT, probably still one of the best subscription out there. It can help you with KPIs. I know Dan is big on that when he talks about lead generation. You gotta track, you gotta know what you do, you gotta know how much you produce. GPT can help you with that too, or Gemini, Claude, you name it. So another thing which is underrated, because I'm gonna talk about confidence. I'm not sure if some people are here new or already like very experienced investors, but if you are new, it doesn't matter if you're new or not new. We launched several products and I noticed you gotta have confidence everywhere. It doesn't matter if you started the first day, second day, you've been 10 years. If you're not confident, especially in real estate industry, you're not gonna pull anything. So you gotta be confident. How I get confident? You get confident with the reps. Some of you might have previous experience in sales, so you have advantage. Congratulations. If you're an agent who is going into investing side, congratulations, you have some sort of advantage. If you have no advantages, let's imagine there is a person who has no advantages. I don't know how to talk. I don't know anything. I know how to call, nothing. AI can help you with that too. There are voice modes inside of AI that you can role play. You can tell, hey, you'll be seller, I'll be myself, I'll try to close you. Give me feedback. You can do those things. So go and practice. So, and this is what we are talking here, right? Confidence is reps and feedback and scripts. So I think Dan has some scripts in his teaching, in his brokerage, they train his people. Even if you're experienced, I always tell to people, have some scripts when you execute. And why it's so, even if you experience, because if you have some structure in front of yourself when you're actually working on leads, there is a higher chance that you will execute better when you have your down day. Okay, I understand we can talk about of being like up of your game, everything is happy, everything exciting, but we all know there are some crappy days, and you will mess up those calls when you have a crappy day and you don't have a script, because you will execute worse. You will project whatever happened in your life during this day onto the call, and you'll mess up this one opportunity that potential could make you a crap load of money. So I hope that's clear on this side. And Dan book talks about this too. And everything what talks about lead generation is either you pay with the time or with the money. Just simple as that. There is no different ways. There is no like easy way, like I don't pay anything and I don't work anything and money are just coming. I mean, unfortunately, it's not about sales, and maybe there are some easy ways. Lucky situations happen, but can you create a system of doing this? Probably not. So, and I'm gonna break down some of the other things that actually will be either time or money. And before we go there, I know there is probably some agents in the room. And as you guys all know, I've been told this all the time, referrals are the best leads. We know that, okay? So when somebody referred to you, somebody knows you, best leads, no need to like call, put a lot of effort, it happens. So that's why the easiest way to drive social presence, especially if you are new, your social media, again, do all your people, neighbors, if you already have a page, know that you are an investor. If you are agent, do they all know? They should all know. If you already help somebody, like you listed the house, you help to sell the house, do they know anybody else who might need your help? I know Dan's book is actually pretty good in sharing how to actually get referrals. I think there is a whole freaking chapter about this. So, and but this is a big thing. It's free again, and I'm gonna talk about this, about don't overthink, right? I know it by myself. It's like you start thinking, oh, like how my page, how my picture, this thing. Like, no, just do gem, announce, say, keep it updated. You're gonna update. In a year, it will look different. It's totally fine. And again, because one deal, here's the thing about real estate, right? So I just want to talk about lead generation. 1 or 2 leads can make a huge difference. 1 referral can make a difference if you will pass this first period of hard time, let's say first 1-2 months when you maybe decided to hire VA, maybe getting the package, getting VAs and starting managing all of that. So make sure you really conscious about when opportunity comes to make sure that you close it. If you have money, again, going from time and money, get a website. We'll help you with sellers. Most of them is gonna ask you like, well, do you have a website? Do you have that? You know, if there is an easy way of doing this. If you're with brokerages, you can use that too. If you're part of some company, you can use it too. If you don't, you wanna be by yourself, you know, carrot.com, they help you create easy websites. Just get one. Again, this is your social presence. You might get like 1 SEO lead and it will make a huge difference for you too. And again, just to reiterate, everything what I say can be wrong or right. Even like I told you, hey, put social website, do this thing, but if don't overthink, gotta do it. Quality, time. And again, AI can help a lot with that. So AI is big on that. You can ask how I structure, how I do things. So make sure you use call calling, right? So let's go into lead generation. On the way, guys, if you have any questions, make sure to ask. But when we talk about call calling or processing any leads, there are basically three options overall. Like anywhere you go, you either do things yourself, you either hire VAs, or you hire people who you train, or maybe agencies training, or you GV with people. So the third one, I want to talk a little bit more about the third one fast, because I think this is an underrated one. If you have money, but you don't have enough time, skill, or something, you should be considering, for example, even like investing side, because I work with investors. I'll just give an example. You can invest in Legion, you don't have enough time, you don't have enough skill. Think and look for people who have this time, who have the skill, and who don't have enough money. Again, and start treating it as a business. That's why I like Dan's book. That's probably the only reason I'm here, other than I just like Dan, he's funny. Because his book talks about building the actual business. Take the process to 80% and start thinking how you're gonna scale. In investing in real estate, you have a big advantage, which is bad advantage and unfortunate advantage, but there is a lot of commission-only structures. Acquisition managers are typically getting paid like 20-25%. If you go out there and say, hey, I have a system, I'm hiring, I'm gonna give you 40%, but I won't listen to your calls, I'm gonna learn from you, and we're gonna commit, you can get a lot of people willing to work for you. So just want to acknowledge that. How to call. Again, there are scripts. Eric Klein. Again, I'm not a coach on this side, but I know Eric Klein has a very good call script on this. Dan probably has this one too inside of his community. And if you want to do it by yourself, just to give it a try, I probably wouldn't recommend to most people. I know I'm biased. I'm with ISP to lead, but again, average minimum wage United States of America, $25 per hour. So if you're cold calling instead of having some different job, and again, I'm not saying like you're doing different, you're kind of wasting your time a little bit. When you're considering VAs, again, treat it like as a customer. You're the customer. You should be asking as many questions as possible. You should be knowing, you should be asking what are the commitments, what are the agreement, how we're gonna pay. You compare. I want to hear the feedback from investors who use you. So this is the mentality shift. This is your buyer, your client. Doesn't matter what happens. And I spoke about this in AI GPT. Some people try to sometimes sell you course VA. Oh, this is exciting, that exciting, this exciting. Pull back. Okay, everybody's doing his sales job, which is great. We are assessing now. Because the number of stories where people pick the service, pick the course, pick VAs, pick a group, and they've been upset is huge. And you don't want to be part of this. And the reason why it happens because they do their job and you're not doing your job in terms of evaluating everybody and comparing everybody. Ads, okay? So 3 things. I typically talk about 2. So this is 3 if you guys watched any of my presentations before. So in ads, there are complex things, okay? You gotta have creatives, you gotta plan, you gotta do this. Again, you can ask AI, there are some courses, there are free things. Overall, when you run ads, there are 2 considerations. The higher quality you want, price goes up. If you want people who are ready to go, ready to list, have a distressed house, price goes up. Wanna get that? We'll have less leads, higher price, hotter leads. Fine. Okay, wanna get higher volume and lower cost, you need to adjust your creatives, right? We're gonna say, instead of, hey, are you in distress, wanna sell your house? You will say, get an offer on your house, or check how much your house worth. So those leads will be less, but you need to expect, you need to adjust your scripts to make sure that those are colder leads, because ads can generate different leads, and you need to think for yourself how you wanna attack it depending on your budget and depending what you wanna do, right? So this is 2 angles. Another angle, how wide we wanna go. So the narrower you are in ads, the more you're gonna pay. Just simple as that. So you gotta either go wider. That's why investing, referral to other agents helps if you wanna go a little bit wider, or you can syndicate, as I say, so you can get like 3 agents together running one account. Again, as long as you all trust each other. And again, this is when you partner with anybody, I'm gonna say it one time, even your friends, even the like friends, buddies, family, other things, you gotta make sure you put some agreements in place so you don't get frustrated later. So you gotta make sure, okay, are we ready to do this together? Okay, good. Are we committing to this budget? Yes, good. Okay, let's keep going. Mailers, effective, old school. A lot of people who attack locally, they do this. Can be handwritten, can be local. So again, you will probably have to have somebody who'll be ready to pick up the phone, ideally you, especially if you're just starting, because this is the downside. The good thing that a lot of people who don't use ads, don't see it on digital, they're more likely to answer on mailers or cold calls. And PPL, last round, so ISP to lead, right? There are different PPLs. Obviously, I can give you our speech why ISP to lead is the best. In short, we do all the types of ads. We have network of 25 providers who submit leads to us. We screen them. We post on the platform. You can preview them before you buy them. So yes, you gotta pay for them, right? We talked about money versus time, but there are different coupons, different programs, different pricing structures, different packages, and different stuff. And here's another good thing. Unlike any other option on ISP to lead, when you buy a lead and lead is bad, you can also get a refund. So if, let's say, you're calling the seller or you never got a hold of anybody, or you call the seller, he's not selling, just go to support, you ask for a refund, get it credited back, get another lead. So there are different PPLs out there. Again, if anybody has some particular questions, but if you talk about as many leads, we have 28,000 leads right now, like it's real sellers who want to sell. And in terms of transparency, how much you can see, in terms of like, we have like little CRM for everybody. We're working on our own free CRM, by the way, for everybody too. We also have cash buyers and a bunch of other things. Having said that, just a free account. If you don't have an account with ISP to lead, you can just go to app.isptolead.com/getbonus100. So if you create your account, you're gonna get $100, and registration is completely free. Just check it out, what's inside, decide if that's something what you do. So far, we have over 50,000 people registered with us. I think it's probably 40,000 investors, 10,000 agents, but we don't actually go after agents that aggressively, even though last couple of testimonial videos on our channel are actually from agents, from Chris Craddock and from, I forgot the name, but another guy in Team Serpy. He's one of the brokers too. Yeah, that's basically from my side, guys. If you have any questions, so feel free to ask.
All right, I have a question for you, and then we're gonna move on with the presentation. So,
and I see Dan posted his link. Yeah, just use Dan's link.
Yeah, it's fine. Either link's fine. So my question for you, Yuri, is if you were a prospect, Chris is in the Vienna, McLean area. If you were a prospector, like, so we look at different ways to get business, right? So prospecting's a way, networking's a way, marketing is a way. All right. So when you use a company like ISP to lead, it's like you're sort of bridging the gap in between. You're still prospecting, but now you're prospecting to targeted leads. Okay. What would you say if there was one mistake that prospectors make? What would that one mistake be?
Well, are you talking about people who are just doing cold call and people who are using ISP to lead?
Well, either one.
Well, first of all, an ISP to lead, guys. So again, somebody did prospecting for you on our side. So when we have a lead, this is a final lead. Because if you start cold calling by yourself, guys, you're gonna go over like, I don't know, 1,000 records, 2,000 records. Maybe somebody is not somebody is not ready to do anything. So in terms of ISP to lead, honestly, there is still a lot of people untrained and trying to find a way to close every lead, because, and we go deeper in this thing right now. In real estate overall, there are multiple ways how you can close the deals. You can list the house, you can wholesale, you can do creative option, you can do innovations, you can do a bunch of things. Most people are very, I would say, biased towards the thing that they either trained, learned, or did in the past. So, and it's kind of, hurting them. So there are some things like on our platform, I can say, like, people not reading enough. I mean, we show people a summary and it says like, again, you shouldn't buy every single lead on our platform, okay? We will give you parameters for a reason. We want to give you so many leads so you can have something to pick from. So you want to be picky. And the last thing I would want to probably say, if you talk about ISP to lead, is, I mean, simple things, right? Like not asking refunds sometimes. People, like, I didn't like the lead was bad. Do you ask for refund? No, why not? I'm like, oh, I didn't know, or I forgot, or something. So that's, so you want to ask for those. And being wider. I think, and I'm biased towards that, but on ISP to lead is 20,000 leads nationwide, and you can see particular area, zip code, county, and what's inside of the lead. Lead who is in distress and want to sell now is different than the lead who wants to downsize in 3 months. But you will buy downsize in 3 months because you feel like, oh, it came in my area. I want to buy this lead because it's in my area. So, and you're missing an opportunity in another area that you could actually close or do something with that. So
Got it.
this is the one thing. And speaking of general prospecting, oh, there's probably lots of things. I mean, with ads, you can miss easily the algorithm change. Facebook just changed the algorithm with Andromeda update. You need to have like 50 creatives to make it work. If you miss that, you're gonna miss that. With cold calling, retention with VAs is a big issue. So, and also here's the thing about ISP to lead, right? Over other cold calling, you're still paying any cold caller or VA gonna hire per hour. So they're not like really incentivized unless you hire by yourself and you put some structure in place. But still, most of them still wired like, hey, as long as I'm getting my hours paid, I'm good. So this is where this issue of misalignment, you will kind of struggle with that, because we, for example, we don't pay providers in advance. They post leads on our platform, we split. If you guys buy a lead, you're happy and you don't refund. If you refund, it's gonna take money from both of us. So that's where like motivation is there. If you talk about mailers, I think not picking up the phone when somebody is actually calling, like you gotta have a better system for that, and you gotta really do mailers on a consistent basis. You gotta do that.
Yuri, thank you very much. I'm going to say rapport for cold callers, for warm callers, and for hot callers is the number one mistake that I see people make. It's a misunderstanding that your job, if you're calling somebody cold, your job is to not get the listing. It's not to get the deal. It's not to do any of that until you connect energetically with them, until you gain rapport with them. And so as sales professionals, we forget that our job is like, we want to get hired, we want to make a sale, but that's down here. You got to understand, where are you in the process? That's over here in step one in a cold call or a warm call, is to connect with rapport.